Hi, everyone. Hey, when you're here, please do like and share this video. And if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight, I have Randy here with me.
Hey,
Randy.
how you doing?
We are going to discuss our investigation we did Saturday night in Bucyrus, Ohio. So, Randy, you want to tell our viewers a little bit about the location we were at Saturday night?
Yeah, sure. We live in our radio station's in a brownstone, which we've had since 1961. The house was built in 1876. Two families lived in that house before the original owners of the radio station purchased the home. One family only lived there for like a year or two, the original family that built it. Then from then on, another family lived there. We've experienced, or if you talk to people from the past that's been working there, whatever, they've experienced kind of weird things too you can't explain. I've had crazy things like a washer thrown at me, and I showed you that washer. I still kept it over there where it was thrown at me. We've heard noises a lot. We've all kinds of stuff. And when I had you guys over Saturday, it helped confirm a lot of stuff that we were wondering about. Different. Was this person for real? We always heard like Orville, was he really real? And of course he came through, and that's the main spirit that people talked about for a long time was Orville. But now we figured out
he came through multiple times through the ink box.
He did. And Penny came through, one we didn't even know about. And of course Harold the butler came through many times too.
Yes, and there was more. I'm trying to remember. There was just so much. Sean Austin, he had actually got Penny came to his mind, and he said, "I'm getting the name Penny." So then it came through the ink box later on, and we were like, "What?"
Oh yeah. How many Class A EVPs we had? It was quite a bit there. It was
we had about 3 or 4 Class A EVPs recording down in that basement.
That was good. Yeah, that was definitely a hot spot down there. Of course, that's one of the places in the building. We only occupied the main floor and the second floor. Of course, there is a third floor where the help lived, and there's a basement that's unfurnished or anything that we don't use either. But it seems like the basement and the third floor were the hot spots, and the butler's original bedroom was a hot spot too, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah. But I have to tell you something interesting that happened today. I had a lady reach out to me, and she's from Bucyrus. And her name was, I'm just going to say her first name was Penny and her last name was Benedict.
Wow. Okay.
She heard her first name and last name come through the ink box when she was watching our investigation. She contacted me today, and she was it shocked her because she doesn't live that close to that location where we were. But she did have a brother who had passed away. Something horrible happened to him. And then another brother passed away, and then a father a week later. And she was like, I was wondering if they were like, they knew we're there. So were they trying to reach out to this lady?
That could be.
Sean's a medium. I'm a medium. Kayla's a medium. I mean, you have these mediums at this location, and the ink box picks up on a mile radius and then the location. So, and Sean picked up on the name Penny right away. So it made me wonder.
Yeah. I knew you were for real when I just met you, and you came in the house and you said somebody here has either had a heart attack or a heart condition. And 3 weeks ago, we had that happen there. We had a person that had to be taken to the hospital for a heart issue. I said, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought, this is where the person was.
And it was, you were right. That's where it was. Exactly. Yeah. So that Mandy's for real, man.
I don't know how I do it, Randy. I can't explain what I do. I just do it. So
yeah, it was cool.
Who's Dean Marsh? My brother is Les Marsh, is a paranormal investigator. Awesome, Dean.
Cool.
So I do want to say that this place has never been investigated, correct, Randy?
Correct. Yeah, you're the first.
Okay, so we were dealing with a lot of intelligent spirits at this location. I mean, from the time we walked in, you could feel the energy. The place in certain areas, it had unsettling energies. which Sean picked up on real heavy in the basement. And I was feeling it too. And most basements do have a creepy vibe, but a lot of basements also, that's where the darker things, the negative things will, they stay hidden.
Okay.
So that's why I think the bad things that we picked up on that had taken place back in the day in the basement, I think, we got a lot of validation on the recorder from that.
Yeah, we sure
the classic A EVPs we were capturing. Sean had mentioned when we did the walkthrough that he was picking up on a lady, someone being trapped in the basement, like they were almost like hiding women or something in the basement and was abusive or something like that. And when we were down there, we were getting communication from a female, and Sean heard a moaning sound from the basement when we were down there. I heard the same thing he did. And it was right after that is when we captured those EVP recordings.
Wow. Okay.
Of the woman. And there was also a man, and we found out the butler's name is Harold. And we captured Harold, a classic A EVP recording of the butler saying his name. I asked a question to the butler, "What is your name?" He came through really clear, Harold. Yeah. It was like, wow, right on the man.
We also learned that Harold doesn't like men. He likes women. He thinks men are perverted, right? Is that what he said?
Yes, he kept saying perv,
yes.
through the ink box, and
right.
Kayla's like, yeah, this guy, he don't, he followed us ladies around a good portion of the night. I actually felt like when I came out of the room where Oral had spent time, his workshop, I had felt something rush up on me, like almost like someone hovering over my shoulders. Yeah, and I think it was.
I remember you hearing breathy whispers and stuff behind you too. I remember that.
Yes, very interesting. So you've never been on an investigation,
no.
Randy. Tell us about your experiences other than what you've had prior to going on this investigation.
Well, just, your amateur things where I just, kind of check things out on my own. But I learned so much Saturday night because I feel like it was with the rock stars of paranormal investigation, because you guys, I mean, top notch. I mean, all the way. And thanks for accepting me in too and let me hang around you guys too. That was wonderful. Before I'm just your amateur, I have a couple apps on my phone where I can, for to listen in for the words and stuff that pop up. And we've had some crazy words come up too at the radio station. I just let it sit for a while, some strange stuff. And usually us up there, remember in my office up there in the newsroom, action started right away there. We started hearing things right away, but that's where I am all the time. And I'll just lay my phone down and you'll be amazed at the words that come up flying up on there. Like,
now there was, so Epic Eric was with us, and there was a whole commotion that took place right when we first started. He was down on either the first floor or he was on the second floor, one of the two, but there was knocking on the window.
Sure. Yeah.
So we don't know if that was spirit knocking on the window or it could have been kids that knew what we were doing knocking on the window. At least I don't know what it was for certain, and I don't know if he knew what it was. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I was told by somebody that was listening in while you're watching the live stream that the knock was a hollow knock, which did not sound like a human or anything knocking. It was a very hollow sounding knock. So they thought it was a very, not human. Let's put it that way. But it was a very hollow knock. So was my opinion on it? It could be because we've had knocks here before, pipes, people, I talked to people after the like that Monday, some of the people at the station, and they were told that explains the knocking on the pipes and stuff. So people hear that stuff and all that crazy stuff. Yeah. But I asked our Sunday morning girl, she came in probably a few hours after we left. I called her up. I said, what's the feeling like in there? She goes, it's very peaceful, because she's very in tune with that too. And she says, she says it's different here. Because usually you could feel it. You could feel the energy when you walked in that building, but the energy's kind of lightened up a little bit.
Well, I think at the end of the night, didn't Sean offer prayer and the spirit came through his recorder?
Yes.
that was another classic EVP recording we captured. The spirit said something about cross me over or
Yes.
something.
I'm jumping in was one of them. Another one is there's the light's above you. It was incredible. But yeah, that happened. And then when that was over with, you could feel the peacefulness in the room we were in downstairs. The air changed, everything changed.
So I'm wondering if his energy was just so thick there that spirit. And once Sean did that, maybe he found peace or something, you know? So
yeah, because it's different in there now. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, thank you if you guys did that.
Sometimes it can kick up the energy and make things go wacko when you're you know, once you do that at a location. So you're saying the opposite of what I would have thought, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, we haven't had it, you know, this whole weekend there, it hasn't been any non-eventful, probably, I would like to say. Pretty quiet.
That's good to know. Yeah. So I want to ask you, Randy, what is your thoughts about the paranormal?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're a skeptic about it, go along on a paranormal investigation because it'll change your mind about a lot of stuff. I heard stuff, you know, these EVPs, you can't explain that, you know, it was too, I don't believe in coincidence or coincidental things. And, you know, when you hear a class A, when you ask a spirit a question, they answer you back. That's pretty cool, you know, or you, you know, make communication. And, you know, you had me do a couple things that I had never done before. And that was pretty cool. But no, I've always believed in spirits and stuff. But if you have any doubts, go on an investigation with people that know what they're doing. I think it'll change your mind. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It reinforced some things that I thought.
Yes. Now
I'm ready to go again. I think we're working on one. So
we are working on one, a really good one too.
Yes.
So Randy, growing up, did you ever experience anything, or did your family ever talk about ghost spirits or whatever? Anything?
I didn't experience much until I got older. In the house I'm in now, weird stuff happens. Now I've seen shadow people here. I saw one time, I told my wife, I said that somebody just walked in our kids' room. It's been a few years ago. And we went there, nobody was there. It was, I know it was a dark figure walked right in that room. And we'll have stuff like that. We'll have unexplained, you know, just things will come up. Those old deals where something is missing and then it appears somewhere where you looked before, you know, crazy stuff like that. But I've always heard noises and stuff. I think this is going to sound weird, but I think I've had pets that have, like a dog that has passed on, that I can still hear. I hear every once in a while. The one I just lost one that was very close to me back in January. We had to put her down. She had cancer. But I hear her ring the bell. We have a bell. She's ringing the bell not too long ago. I hear her dog collar, you know, stuff like that. Unexplained stuff but when I worked at the Marion radio stations, I saw shadow figures every day there. It's going to sound like crazy, but not, but I was our news booth, because that's always been a radio station. So my news booth was all glass. And so off to the corner was the hallway, and you could just see all continuously. Cause I used to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, things flying up and down the hall. And then, lights would go on and off. I heard that one knock that I heard on the door of the studio when nobody was there. That was crazy. But I got to the point working there where I just ignored it. You know, I just knew it became a normal thing.
Randy, do you think that these things were following you? You said you were seeing shadows at the radio station you worked at before. Sounds like something followed you from that location to your house.
Oh, I totally believe that. I do. I believe that. Yeah. And when you're in there late at night, anything after, in fact, I just talked to a girl that works with us that used to work with me at the radio station that works with me now. We were just talking earlier, and we were talking about how there's one studio in there that had a glass window that faced out to the lobby. Now, when you're in there, you could she saw the same thing and described the same thing looking at her as I did. In that glass at the corner of your eye, you could see it was a black figure with glowing eyes that would just stare at you. When you look, of course, it was gone. And Brandy, who worked with me there, we described the exact same thing. This black mass with these glowing eyes that every time you turned to look, it was gone, but it watched you through the glass. It always happened after midnight. So if you're in there late working, it seems like after 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, it would get very weird in there anyways. The atmosphere would change a lot. It was crazy. But I didn't like spending much time. We had people that would refuse to go in that building. They'd sit out in their car. It was
I
that
would
bad.
love to investigate that building.
Hey, we'll see what I can do.
So
But
I have somewhat of a theory here, Randy, and you can tell me what you think on it. And anyone watching, you guys can put in the comments, because I wonder, because you guys doing these radio podcasting and stuff that you do, I'm wondering if the spirits are coming through your radios, the waves.
It could be.
You're getting spirit that is coming from other places. Now, I don't know. Have you heard anything weird, like white noises or anything that has come through your, radio or your mics or anything?
Yeah, and lots of times on my way home, weird stuff will happen if it's late at night or whatever. That one mostly when I worked in Marion, but weird things come through the radio, unexplained things. I always thought that they were trying to communicate with me on my way home. So but the spirits were much more in the other location in Marion. I think they're a little bit more. It's a darker spirits, darker things than I didn't pick up on hardly any dark there in Bucyrus.
Well, if you think about where that radio station is located, there is prisons and the jail where I worked at.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, them spirits would be, moving along through there. They could be, and they travel. So why not? Why not try to communicate with the man who has a mic?
Exactly. Here, I'll tell you a little crazy. Here's something crazy. The Marion station's in the basement, which is very creepy. It's a very creepy basement. There was one location that if you stood there, it was like electricity. It was the hair on your arms would stand up. I couldn't stand there. I couldn't take it for very long. You'd stand there. It was almost, I believe, was a portal. And we had mediums in there before, and they said that that's built on ancient Indian ground there. There's an Indian in that basement that protects it. She described many different of kinds of animals, people that are down in that basement.
Ooh, elemental.
The ones in American Indian.
Did she mention elementals or anything?
No, I don't think so. No. What is an elemental?
That is like fairies, something like that, to that effect. Trying to think what else would be an elemental. I don't really deal with the elementals. Never ran into anything like that, except for a gnome. That would be considered an elemental, something along those lines. So I don't know if you believe in the gnomes and fairies and things like that, but that's elemental. I will say that we did investigate a location in Indiana that is a jail, and it was known to have a elemental there, and that was a gnome. So that's the first time I recall being at a location that has something like that, besides another location, but I never came across anything.
How did you know you were a medium? I mean, how does that happen?
I'm a natural medium. I don't, it's nothing taught to me. I don't know, because I just had so many experiences since I was young. And I've always heard from other mediums, they would tell me, you're very gifted. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, whatever. And just, I had a guy tell me, he said, you're a natural medium. And I'm like, really? He goes, that's why you've always had these experiences. Oh. And I'm like, interesting. So this guy actually ended up mentoring me on how to tune into the chakras and stuff. I had no clue about chakras and what they do, the alignments, and if things are blocked. So he mentored me for like a year on all that. And he tried to help me separate spirit, and I just couldn't. It's nothing that, like I said, it's nothing that I was taught. So I never knew how to separate spirit, and I still can't separate spirit to this day. And when I say that, that means I get a lot of stuff coming to me. I can't separate what I'm receiving.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, when you said that right away, when I first met you, I was like, wow, she's for real.
Well, I am very intuitive too.
Yeah,
So
right, right.
well, we have something here. Let's see
Go
what
ahead.
Brenda has to say. She worked at the WMRN in the 70s, and
Wow,
that basement was weird, and they claimed it to be haunted way back then.
pretty
Thank you
cool.
for that information, Brenda.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, so even back in the 70s, that place has been there since 1940. So even back in the 70s, they see the weird things go on there.
That is. It's so interesting how, I mean, even though it's been a radio station where you're at,
Mhm.
what, 20 years now, 25 years, it's been a radio station.
Longer than that, since 61. So we just had our
Wow.
what?
You know,
Yeah,
people's
60. Hmm.
a lot of people's like a radio station being haunted. It makes sense to me, and just
Hmm.
the history behind it too. But like I said, these radio stations, they're using mics. They're
Hmm.
playing radio all the time.
Right.
It's a perfect way for spirit to communicate through these mics. And I'm really surprised, like, you haven't had more of it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's
Because,
a lot of, oh, go ahead. Sorry. I think
oh,
there's a
no,
lot of residual. I think there's a lot of residual there too, because being that house is that old, there's got to be a lot of residual in there because all those walls soak up, they record, they soak up things, and I believe there's a lot of residual noises and stuff that you hear.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, and, when I worked in law enforcement, because I am a former corrections officer of 8 years, I would have the spirits contacting me through my walkie-talkie.
Wow. Yeah.
And it would be like we'd be working on a weekend, a holiday, so there would only be 7 officers, and then the lieutenant running the jail, or sergeant. So there would be people calling me down in the area I was working at alone, saying, "Did you just hear that over the radio?
Hmm.
Who was that?" So it
Yeah.
wasn't me, but I did hear this man come through, and they were all freaking out because it wasn't them. Nobody could recognize the voice that everyone was hearing, and it
Wow.
was a man coming through my radio traffic, and he was trying to communicate with me. And it's happened
Wow.
to me more than once.
Have you
So
ever had that? Have you ever experienced where they imitate a voice that and they could perfectly imitate that
yeah,
voice?
yeah, they
Mhm.
imitate. Yes. I don't know that I can't remember. Man, Randy, we've been all over the place.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah.
I cannot remember if I've ever heard another spirit mocking someone, but I'm
Hmm.
sure I have. But I do know here in my house, my
Hmm.
husband has heard me. He'd be
Really?
mocking me when I wasn't even here.
Wow. Okay.
And my
Yeah.
daughter, I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure I think my daughter had mentioned she was hearing me when I wasn't here a long time ago. So,
Wow. So you have something's imitating your voice, huh?
oh yeah, and my daughter has sworn up and down she has seen a doppelganger.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
of herself,
Of
really,
herself? Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Great.
which
Oh
freaks
man,
me
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
what? She was very young, so
Yeah,
the,
I've always thought the house I live in is not real old. It was built in 1968, but I've always felt that it had some weird stuff. My wife always says that too. There's weird stuff, weird feelings and stuff, and people acting strange sometimes. I've had that happen too in this house. It's just we were almost going to cleanse the house because we were worried that it was had a lot of evil spirits in it for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So this is a strange place, especially in the basement where I'm at. It's kind of strange sometimes.
so from what you were
Mhm.
telling me, there is a
Mhm.
spirit that does not like men,
Mhm.
and
Right.
this is the butler. Is what we were thinking. It was
Mhm.
probably the butler for some reason. Don't know if that's correct or not,
Right.
but the story is the butler would keep an eye on the maids, right,
Mhm. Yes.
and
Uh-huh.
would make sure that no men would sneak in to be
Right.
with the maid.
Yeah, so you saw his bedroom was right at the top of this first flight of the stairs for their staircase because he could watch the girls go up the next flight of stairs because they lived on the third floor, sneaking guys or whatever up there. He made sure that did not happen, which makes sense why he would protect women. I think guys
Yes,
are pervs, if
and
that's
why
what his
he
job
would
was.
not like men.
Yeah,
But
right.
I don't think Harold has crossed over. I think that
Mhm.
was another spirit that was probably lingering around. I think Harold is still there. I could be
Mhm.
wrong, but
Yeah.
I think he might still be there.
Yeah, when Sean was saying the prayer for him, one of the spirits said, "Pray for me, pray for me." It was just, wow. I mean, like I said, if you're a skeptic and don't believe that stuff, you need to go on one of these on an investigation, because yeah, I want to see people explain that.
Yeah.
You can give a logical, why, how that happened, but
Yeah.
really cool, yeah, yeah. So I was told, I was talking to Karis, who with you guys up to the butler's room up there, the office up there. She said it got really crazy there for a while. That's a
We had a lot of cat ball action going
Mhm.
on. I ended up taking one of my dolls that is said to have something attached to her, which
Mhm.
is a lady who had died with this doll in her hands, and
Oh
she
wow.
she was 42. She had a brain aneurysm, and her
Mhm.
name was Marcette.
Okay.
So I brought along my older doll, porcelain
Mhm.
doll, because I'm thinking of the time frame that children would be there. So, and I put the cat ball up against her
Mhm.
dress there, and it just went crazy.
Oh
Something was
wow. Yeah.
lighting it up, and yeah,
Wow.
it
Yeah.
was it was for a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, Karis also talked about the voices that were coming through or trying to come through so much that it was,
Mhm.
she said one was really trying to come through.
Yeah, there was a lot trying to come through our
Mhm.
devices for sure.
Mhm.
Now, I do want to say to you, because
Yes.
we had you do a method that
Mhm.
you've never, of course, because you've never been on an
Right.
investigation, so
There
you
you
don't
go.
know.
Yeah.
It was the Estes method we had you
Right.
do.
Mhm. Right.
We sat you down and we hooked you up to it, and you went in totally blindfolded, not knowing what to expect.
Right.
What did you think of that, Randy?
I thought that was wild, because I did not know. I couldn't hear anything except for what was coming through the headphones. And I know
Yeah.
you were asking questions. I was giving you answers to what was coming through, but had no idea. And you said I was actually answering questions.
You were, let me tell you, they were feeding off your energy
Really?
big
Okay.
time.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
I can tell you have a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and spirits, they love it when someone's their energy's like way up here, which
Hmm.
I am a hyper person, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it, Wendy. Spirits
Yeah.
love that. They will feed off of that energy.
Right.
And you were so excited to be there with us, and they took advantage of you, and they just kept speaking through that box, and you were getting clear messages. It was so clear
Hmm.
through the box that we could hear it coming. I actually one time heard a voice come over the box,
Oh
and I
wow. You
on my
really?
live feed, I said, "You can." I'm like, "Did you hear that? That voice came over. It sounded like it came over the box. It was
Oh
so
wow.
clear."
Oh
And
wow.
but what I
Mm.
gathered was you were picking up on things that had taken place
Hmm.
around that
Hmm.
area. You were getting a murder or homicide or some things like that
Yeah.
had,
Hmm. Yeah.
and
I,
which wasn't tying to the house. It was tying to what had happened around the
mhm.
location.
And here's the crazy thing: I can't tell you what I said because I don't remember. I just was that zoned into it, and I can't tell you what I
You
repeated.
talking about I think you
Mhm.
said through the box something about there was a
Mhm.
man had his arms around someone. um
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. You mentioned multiple things,
Right.
and it
Right.
was all making sense because there had been some deaths that had taken place on
Mhm.
right around
Yeah.
there,
There has recently.
and
Yeah.
that's what you were connecting with, not so
Wow.
much with the house. You were getting what was going on, what had taken place around
Mm.
that area.
That was coming through. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
I'll take your
But
word for it. Like I said, I can't remember anything I said.
I I really need to upload the video
Yeah.
of this, and I can do that from TikTok. So
Now, here's my question: did you check over any footage? Did you see anything later on that we didn't notice before?
I was going to message you and tell you that
Mhm.
I did finish the recording. I only had one camera set up because we
Mhm.
were running behind, so
Yeah.
I was just trying to hurry. But I reviewed all the clippings, and I seen some dust, because I know
Mhm.
what dust looks like on a night
Right.
vision camera. Other than any shadow figures or anything like that, no. And but there was one clipping that I had thought, oh my gosh, I thought I captured like a shadow figure going by,
Mhm.
and I had to really keep playing it back to see what I was seeing. And what it was you. You were upstairs on the second floor, and you had walked by up there. And the image that the camera was pointing up, there was like, a mirror or something right there. It looked like a shadow figure walking by, and I had to keep playing it over and over. And then once I realized, as playing it to the end, you come down the stairs, and I said, "Dang it, that's Randy." That was Randy.
Well, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I wasn't a shadow figure.
It was all good though. But I mean, other than that, we captured amazing EVPs. We captured, lots of. We were hearing disembodied voices. Just, I think the evidence that we ended up collecting with the recordings and stuff, I think that alone was enough validation right there to say that there was some stuff that had taken place here.
Right.
And I think we provided enough for you guys to say, okay, this is tying into maybe some of the things that you heard about the location, or people were, wondering whatever was going on at this location.
I saw the picture of the outside of the building you posted. I never realized how unique and kind of creepy that building looks, because I'm just going in every day, so I don't really pay attention. But when you look at it, just kind of look at the architecture and stuff, it's pretty creepy building.
It does. And I actually took a video of the outside of it, and I posted it on TikTok, and I put a real creepy song with it. So
it makes sense. Yeah. It is a very unique looking building. Beautiful building though. You can't, everything, the original woodworking. Yeah. It's a great shape
good shape. It really is.
Yeah, when we make sure that we take care of that building, that's very important. And it's funny because the spirits and stuff, I always thought I don't ever bother them, because I always thought, they were there before me, and they'll be there after, so I just kind of let them do their thing. They usually don't bother us.
Yeah,
Cool.
You're right.
That's my philosophy. They were here first, so it's their place first.
Yeah, they were here.
Yeah.
So. Also, Randy, you're also in connections with another haunted location.
I am. I'm very haunted location.
About this because Randy is going to try to get us in this location, and I have actually investigated this location in Galion, Ohio, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Ghost systems have been to this location.
It's I think it's been voted the number 4 most haunted place in Ohio. 4, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Now that place will blow your mind. I've seen stuff like that.
While we're here, you might as well tell everybody about this location.
Oh yeah, it's a home that's got all these original furniture in it. It was built in the 1800s. Bishop Brown's house. Everybody can guess probably where that is Browndaler Cottage. But we've had things all the time: door slamming, just unexplained footsteps. You can hear people run upstairs, and there's nobody upstairs. But ghost hunts are crazy there. I've been actually helped out on the ghost hunts last year, because we have the public come in and we lead them on a ghost hunt and stuff, and they all leave believers after that because of what they saw. We had one person take pictures of these orbs, these beautiful pictures of these orbs going up the steps, clear as can be.
Oh.
Yeah. We have a funny story about one of the guys on our board. Some on the board there. It was during December, and the place was decorated for Christmas, and we were having a meeting in the dining room there. And he said he had to go out to his car. He came back in. We heard him scream. He goes, "Who threw this?" He had one of the Santas in his hand. He had no idea. They get launched out at him. So, but yeah. So it's just crazy stuff. Our director, she'll tell you that from May through October, it's very active in that house. Because the bishop was the bishop of Arkansas for a long time, and he lived in Arkansas during the winter, and they'd come back to Galion in May. So that's what we believe, that's why it's very active in May, because they're back again.
So he's back doing what he would usually do. He's leaving town and coming back.
Oh yeah. And we have mediums in there, and they'll tell you that he's there. Everybody has the same vibe, same story. You'll go and you'll probably pick up right away. You probably already have if you've been in there.
Oh, I did. I don't remember everything, but I do know the energy was very intense. Very intense. Yeah.
We were very concerned last year because we thought there was something evil that had snuck through there because of some of the stuff going on. We just, yeah, we thought there was a not nice spirit in there that was actually keeping the other spirits kind of trapped. That's what we were worried about. So we'll see what happens this year, if that's still going on. But yeah, we kind of picked up on stuff. There's a little boy there we pick up on all the time. You say his name and you'll know he's there. One time they have a music box. Well, it looks like a record player, but it's a music box, and you put these steel discs in. And they had they every year one of the elementary classes there from Gallion does a tour. They do a tour and stuff of the house. Well, the kids were there and they were sitting in the parlor, and that music box came on by itself. Just turn right on and came on by itself. So, Tanisha will probably tell you that story if you talk to her. But yeah, just crazy stuff like that. But door slamming and doors that we don't even mess with. Bam, slamming. There's no air current in there, and it's crazy. There's crazy stuff. But yeah, we do ghost hunts. We've got 2 coming up here pretty soon. That you can go on if you want. We always sell those out. Now our big ghost hunt is on Halloween night because the bishop died in the house on Halloween.
Oh,
so that's
what?
our big one. Yeah, so that's the one we'd like to get you guys to too, also, if you want to. But that's we're working on that one too. So yeah,
if you want us to come on Halloween and do something there, yes, please do.
Yeah, we've been we're trying to get you guys in there for a long time, believe it or not. So but you didn't know that though, but yes, we have.
I didn't know that until you told me about it Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have a lot of groups, and you can do private investigations there. We have people that come in and do private investigations every once in a while. Different groups from you believe where they come from all over just to check that place out.
I know a team from Marion, Ohio, where we're from, had went there, and I remember I was watching their live, and they had some. I don't know if someone was pushed or something crazy happened that made me feel like that was the more negative energy.
Yeah.
And they said there was something. They felt like there was something darker there.
Yeah. Now, see, there you go. Yeah.
All these people coming in, all these different teams coming in, and do you guys have like video? Are you there with the team, or do you just leave them alone?
We kind of lead them around. We kind of lead them around. We have some, equipment and stuff, not like you guys have, but we have some equipment there that we do EVPs and stuff like that. And now the basement, Tanisha does not like to go in the basement because she said she heard the most evil EVP she's ever heard down there. So she tries to stay out of that basement. Is creepy. I've been down there. It's a creepy basement,
but when someone books a private investigation, are you guys there with them, or do you let them do their thing, go out on their own? Are you watching them? Can you see them on the cameras or anything to kind of hear what they're, in case someone's maybe saying things they shouldn't say, like maybe being disrespectful or something? Or you never know what people are doing when you're not there.
Exactly. So that's why we lead groups around. So we split a group, we split it in half, and because we only allow a certain amount of people to go on the hunts. They have to buy tickets. So it's a ticketed event. So half go one direction, half go the other direction. That's how that works. So we keep them all right.
That's not for the private investigation.
Now the private investigation, we somebody's there. Either Tanisha,
they're not following around the people who paid for the private.
No, they're not.
Okay,
no. But somebody's there just to make sure. Yeah, somebody's there just to make sure that nothing happens. We have to have somebody there, but but we do. They do quite a few private hunts there.
Yes, and that's what I was saying is, do you guys know what people are? Do you? You just don't know what these people are doing and what they could be saying.
Well, we've checked out some YouTube videos that are on now that they said we didn't know what was going on, but there's some people that aren't they're a little unique. Let's put it that way. The provoking is what we don't. We hate we try not to have investigators in that provoke. I don't because that starts all kinds of problems.
I can tell you if they're provoking. They probably try to do it behind hoping nobody's
exactly
listening or hearing. So, and that could be, and maybe upsetting something. And you don't know if they're doing. You just don't know what they're doing, and that could be bringing through, opening up doors to other things there. Because I have heard that place is a lot different than it was when I was there.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's happened, and Amber, that was the one that helps me lead that tour. She It was the first tour I was on helping out, and she told them, one of the spirits, to use my energy.
I
so
was trying to use mine. Go
so
ahead. Honey.
that's like, oh, okay. but yeah, so that's how I knew I was initiated in that. But they use my energy. But yeah, and it worked too. They'll turn flashlights on and off. The cat ball thing, we use that. They'll turn those on and off, very easily. You usually set those on a bed or something, they'll be going off like crazy. But we get some intelligent answers and some reactions when we ask questions and all that, because the family is still in there. The mother-in-law is in her room. The bishop's in there and his wife's in there. And we don't know who the little boy is because they didn't have any kids, but there's a little boy in there that he's pretty mischievous. I mean, he does stuff like a little kid does. Yeah. Pretty neat stuff.
I
But
a lot of communication with the children too.
Oh yeah, so you'll pick up on him, and I'm not even going to say his name because I want you to say his name because I guarantee you'll pick right up on it. And you'll have his name. Everybody does.
I will.
So, yeah.
We have a question here for you, Randy, from Pam Harris. She wants to know, Pam, how large of a group do you allow for the private investigations?
For the private, I don't know exactly. I could ask. I'm gonna find out. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of the Gallion History Center. It's usually like, I don't know, 7, something like that. Something, nothing huge. It's usually it's not real big. Usually people come in
to go here, Randy. I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've been.
Does it cost? Yeah, it costs for. Yeah, it's not very expensive, but it costs to. So it's kind of rented out for. That's how we earn our. Get our money and stuff for. To take care of the place. But yeah, it's not very expensive. It must not be because people love doing it. So
yeah.
So the exact price, but all that stuff, any information on that, you can go to our website. It's all just Google Gallion History Center. It'll come up. We have information on private tours or private investigations, or the public one where we have people come in. We'll have certain nights where we lead them around. So yeah.
Now I recall seeing. Now this is what captured 5 years ago. What captured how I captured this place was I was watching TV. And it came across one of the travel channels. I believe so anyway. Might have been one of the most haunted places or something like that. They were showing that location. And I remember I was like, oh, wow, this is close to where I live. And I contacted them and we ended up booking the place and we went. But I recall them showing an image. There was a picture captured, right?
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Tell me about this picture.
Is that the one with the orb by the? Is that the one by his buggy there? Did you see that one? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this was like in the breezeway there.
Oh, in the breezeway, yeah. It looked like a human body. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It looked like a figure, right? That was right in front of his study, which is a separate building, which has that glass hallway. Do you remember the glass hallway outside that leads to his study?
Think so. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That area.
Yeah. Well, people have claimed they've seen him walking there, his spirit walking.
Well, that image, I seen the image of him on TV. They had that image of him and you could see him. And I was like, oh, this is, I got to go.
I know exactly what show you. I saw that too. Yeah. But that goes right to his study. Now his study is a separate building on the grounds. And it used to be a church. Actually, it used to be a little Catholic church. Now, speaking of which, we have the church. We own the church across the street too.
We went in there.
That is creep. That has some stuff on it too. We usually have our meetings in there, our board meetings. And one time, it was a couple months ago, we were sitting there talking. All of a sudden, we heard this bang. Something like a metal thing thrown against metal. And after the meeting, I was talking to Tanisha and Amber. We were just kind of hanging out, and I said, "You heard that, did you?" Said, "Oh yeah, yeah." We just kind of ignored it. But yeah, it was a loud banging, just like someone threw something. But nobody. All of us were in the room, and there was a partition, and it was behind the partition. That's what it was. So. Yeah, so we get stuff like that too. And like Tanisha said, she does not like to go into the basement of the church either. I guess it's very creepy in there. But we have that. Plus we have our office, which is an old house too, which is across the other road from the church. So you have Brownella, the church, and then we have our offices there too. It's all in that one area. But yeah, creepy stuff. But there was people the years, that place sat empty for about 50 years before, after he died. He died back in the 30s. And
50 years that place was empty.
It was empty. All it was furniture covered by sheets and stuff. But people would tell you, because the school was right there beside it, and they said kids wouldn't even walk in the sidewalk in front of they'd walk across the street because they were too scared to walk by the building. So that place has always been kind of had a strange vibe to it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. it's just, but yeah, it's a cool story about the bishop too. If you ever get a chance to check in about his life and stuff, it's just a really cool thing. It's a lot of it's a neat building, and everything's original in that building. It's just like they still live there. You know, we didn't take
Yeah.
anything into the furniture's all there and all that too. So yeah, it's
We
crazy.
got another question for you, Randy.
Mm-hmm. Do you have no, we usually don't have cameras running at all time. No, we don't do that. But I'd like to. That would be great. You know, have cameras run. You know, we have our security cameras outside, but nothing inside the building.
Interesting.
But I would like to try that. Yeah, it would. You know, we should just set up and just let it go. I mean, yeah, just let the cameras run all night sometime and see what we
And
can
you
pick
can
up.
watch them from home too when you're not there, and you guys would probably get some really good stuff. And then you can advertise that on your website.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Think like that.
So we're excited to have you guys come in. That's the first question I got. It's like, when are they coming to our place? I don't know if you saw that. Tom Cantor's on our board. He goes, when are they coming? When are you taking the Brownell? I said, sure.
The Brownell Cottage?
Yep. Yep. And I said, I'm working on it.
I've seen that on the comment.
Yeah.
So,
he's one of our board members.
Tell everyone what you're working on.
Yeah, so I did. I said, I'm working on it. So there you go. We're working on getting you guys in there. So yeah. So are you working on bringing people with you or what, or like a group?
Well, I'm going to, of course, I need to see if my team can go. I don't know. It just depends. Chastity is most likely to go more than Bobby. It just depends on the date when you do this. But I am going to invite, Kayla and Eric if they want to come, and Sean if he's still in Ohio at the time. So I don't know where he's going to be at that time. So
yeah, he gets around, doesn't he?
He does. He does his thing. He's traveling, doing his thing. So we will be live this Sunday at the Boxcar Tavern in Upper Sandusky. I don't know if Epic Eric's joining us, but I know it's Kayla, Sean, and I. I've been there like 3 times already. This place is really active. There's intelligent spirits there. So yeah, I wanted to get Sean there because, like I said, everyone's probably like, why you Well, Sean, when he comes to Ohio, he's asked me if I have any locations for him here. And I do. I got all kinds of locations. So I hook him up.
Yeah, and Sean's great. Yeah.
He is.
I mean, and that's cool. I mean, it was nice. I made friends too. I mean, I keep in contact with you guys. I think it's fun. I was very happy that you guys let me tag along on Saturday night.
Yeah. It was very interesting. We have a comment here.
Yeah.
Dean Marsh, would you do a visual in the pitch black? That's all he got. Ha ha ha. That's what he says. I'm not for sure if he's talking about doing an isolation alone in the dark.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he meant to put. And if that is the case, I do isolations a lot in the dark.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like being scared, right?
It's funny you say that. I really don't like being scared like that. Sean's always jumping out at me.
Right.
Did you see the video where he got me?
I did, yeah.
He got us so good up in the attic. I just, man, it was like, he's good about that. Because I'm a jumpy person because
right.
So much happens around me, it seems like, when I'm out there. But believe it or not, I actually investigated a location in the country outside of Bucyrus. But I can't tell you where it was, but I can tell you it's a very haunted location, 2 big buildings. I spent the night there alone and investigated this place. And I had crazy stuff happening, Randy. I even had a live feed running on me when I was sleeping.
Oh, wow.
I investigated this whole building and even went in the dark, 1 o'clock in the morning, to the other building.
Oh my gosh. You're braver than I am. I'm telling you that.
I don't know if it's being silly or what, but I just know that you can capture more evidence when you're completely alone like that. Right. So what I actually have been thinking about doing is my next adventure coming up soon, hopefully. I want to do a complete investigation alone in a asylum. So
really, yeah.
I'm going to be, I know someone who owns an asylum here in Ohio. I've been there one time with another investigator. I am thinking about going to this location and doing a complete investigation of this asylum. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. You're live
Yeah.
streaming too then? Or?
Yeah. Oh, I'll be live streaming.
Yeah.
We'll set up some cameras. This is a very active place. When we were there, we got some good stuff.
So you're ready to go by yourself, huh?
I thought about that because I almost ended up going by myself. Yeah, because my team, they all started dropping off, not being able to go. And then it came down to one girl.
Mm-hmm.
So Pam says, you might need a camera woman. Nope. Complete isolation, Pam.
Right.
Nobody. That's the whole point. Just me and whatever's there, spirit and whatever. So,
wow.
I mean, because when you're alone, you will get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're alone right now at the radio station, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm at my house, but I was alone. I heard somebody come home, but I was alone by myself. I'm in my basement here.
Oh, I thought you were at the radio station.
No, this is actually in my house. This one is, the studio.
I was going to say you went all the way to the radio station.
No, this is my studio that I built in my house. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
That's pretty sweet. You need to come over here and build me a little
setup. Sure, yeah. It's cool that I build it for podcasting, and I also I do my news for the radio station here at home and stuff like that. I'm able to do things and send it over to them, so it's nice. It actually saved my butt a couple times.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I use it every day. I use it for whatever, a lot of recording and stuff in here. But it's cool for podcasting like this too.
Yeah. It's a nice setup. It looks like.
Thank you.
So, Randy, do you have any questions for me other than some of the questions you already asked me?
Hey, have you been on any shows? Any of the paranormal shows?
TV wise?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I filmed with Ghost Brothers.
That's a cool show. I like Ghost Brothers. Yeah.
I'm on season 2, episode 1, The Shank. I actually filmed with them over here at the Mansfield Reformatory.
Oh, yeah.
And,
cool place, but
yeah. They actually showed my evidence and everything that I captured.
Oh, wow.
They talked to me and everything. And
wow, cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
And,
so of course I checked Sean out. He's on with Ghost Loop, right? That was the show he was on. Which
us ladies do have something coming up, but I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to talk about it. So stay tuned for more of that. We'll be able to tell more about that in October. I can't.
Okay, cool. Well, when you can talk about it, let me know. Let me know. I'll promote it for. I'll promote it for you there. Let me know when when it can get out there, right?
Yep.
So have you always been interested? Have you ever always been interested in paranormal?
Yes, even when I was a child, we watched scary movies all the time. I remember Halloween night. I couldn't wait. I was in elementary, and we'd be out trick or treating, and I was so excited to get home and watch all those scary movies. And yes, my mother was one that would let us. And she would pop popcorn, and we'd turn down the lights, and we'd watch Freddy Krueger, all of those. I mean, you name it. Yeah. Freddy Krueger, Halloween, Michael Myers, Trick or Treat, whatever. It was a good night. I always could not wait till every year. And it would scare me, but I would watch it. And that fascinated me. And I used to hear my family talk about some ghost stories. And that really intrigued me,
Right.
As a child, I recall seeing things and hearing weird things. And it's funny, because talking to my sisters and my brother over the years, I found out some things I didn't know that they were seeing, which validated what I was seeing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I was really blown away because they never said anything. I'm like, what? You didn't say.
You think some people are scared to come forward? You might think they're crazy or something. I think that happens quite a bit. Once they know they can tell you, you're not going to think they're crazy, and you get these stories. I think that's what people are afraid of. Like, well, if I tell them, they're going to think I'm nuts or whatever. No, you're not. Everybody has experiences like this.
Angela, Sean thinks he got food poisoning from the place that we had ate, that restaurant in Michigan.
In Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He called me up and was telling me, he's like, did anybody else get sick over that We ate at that restaurant, and I said,
Yeah.
No, nobody has said anything." And he
All
said
right.
him and Kayla was like it was bad
It was
for
bad.
them.
Really good. Wow. Well, I know
Yeah.
that. Speaking of food, I know you guys ate in Bucyrus. I saw you ran some fans at Old Dirty, didn't you?
Yes, yes, we did. It was funny. Sean
Yeah.
was laughing at me because as soon as Sean and I got into the restaurant, right, we
Yeah.
sat down. And Kayla, we were waiting on Kayla to join us. She wasn't there yet. So we go
Hmm.
to the table. As soon as we get there, I look over and I see this couple sitting there, and she's just looking at me, cheesing, like
Right.
so excited, smiling. I'm like, okay, this lady's about to come over here and say something to us. And she did. She
Yeah.
came over. She said, "Excuse me, I just love the Ghost Sisters and all, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, we're going to be investigating here tonight in Bucyrus." And she's like, "Where?" And I'm like, "The radio station." And she's like, "Oh
Hmm.
my god!" And I said, "I got some
Yeah.
friends joining me there." And I said, "My friend Sean Austin here." And I said, "Do you know who Sean is?" She said, "I'm sorry, I don't. Who are you?" You
Oh,
know?
gee.
And I went on to tell her who it
Yeah.
was, and her mouth just dropped, and
Yeah.
she's all excited. And but then she went to tell me that she owns a building,
Hmm.
she owns a location, a salon in Bucyrus that she wants Ghost Sisters to come and investigate.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I
Cool.
said, "Contact me,
Yeah.
let me know." And she's like, "How do I go about coming here? What's the process?" And
Hmm.
Sean's like, "Well, you just contact us and we just show up and we investigate and
Hmm.
see what we get."
Awesome. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good. Good. So
well,
maybe you'll be able to do that.
well, after that, she's supposed to be contacting me, so I'm waiting.
Hmm.
She might have forgot, or maybe she just hasn't gotten to it yet. I don't know. So the waitresses kept going by, looking at
Hmm.
Sean and I'm like, and I got my Ghost Sister shirt on so that
Yeah.
people were recognizing it. And so the one lady who was not our waitress, she came over to me. She goes,
Hmm.
"Oh my God, I don't mean to bug you." She goes, "But I follow you guys and I'm a big fan of Ghost Sisters." And,
Great.
and Sean's just sitting over here laughing. He's just laughing, you know. And,
Yeah.
uh, and I went on telling her the same thing. We're investigating and blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And I told her my friend Sean's with
Hmm.
me. And I'm like, "Do you know who he is?" And that girl's like, "No, you kind of look familiar, but no." I said, "Does 28 Days Haunted ring a bell on Netflix?" And this girl, I thought she was going to fall over. I'm telling you, this girl was like just blown away. So of course
Real.
she goes
Yeah.
and tells all the other waitresses, right?
Yeah. Right.
By the time we get done eating and we're getting ready to leave, she comes back over, these two girls all giggly, laughing, and "Can I get a picture with you, Mandy? I'm like,
Right. Right.
"Yeah." So I went to hand the phone to Kayla or
Mhm.
Sean to take the
Yeah.
picture. And then the one girl, she's like, "Oh, Sean, you can be in this too." I'm like, "Yes, come on over, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it was like everywhere. I couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
It was
Oh,
crazy.
geez. You can't go anywhere you can't without people wanting your
Well,
autograph, right?
we're close to
Yeah.
where we're from, so
Right.
people know us. So and they know us from all around. We set up at the
Hmm.
popcorn festival, so we got
Hmm.
people coming in from all over.
Hmm. Oh,
And
wow. Yeah. I
they
was, I'm
follow
surprised
us.
I worked at Popcorn Festival for years when I worked at Riz. I'm surprised I never ran into you out there. We were always out there with the radio station.
We this will be our third year setting
Hmm.
up,
Okay.
so
Sure.
we're fairly new to it. We're
Hmm.
the only team that's ever done this.
Really? Wow. Cool. That's
Yes,
good. Well, and a lot of people will follow you guys. I know a lot of people that knew exactly who you were. So kind of
we
a
are.
local celebrity thing going on.
That's what Sean was teasing me. "Oh, he
Yeah.
was so," I said,
Yeah.
"He's the real celebrity over here."
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're about to hit 19,000 followers. We're
Great.
working our way up fast. It's like
Good.
going really fast. But we do have the most following is well, it's kind of spread it out everywhere across the United States,
Hmm.
country, different places. But in our hometown, I think we got over 2,000 people alone in our hometown. We
Wow.
have a big following in Bucyrus too.
Do you really? Okay. Okay.
We do.
Cool. Well, I think people like you guys because you and your sisters, because you guys are genuine. Sometimes you watch some of these shows and stuff. It's just, it looks fake. You guys are pretty genuine. You guys are a lot of fun to watch, actually, because you just, you don't know what word's going to come flying out of your mouth. I just hilarious, So
that is funny that you say that, because I don't know what's going to fly out of my sister. And I'm like, and what people don't see behind the scene, because I'm usually running the live feed, I'm like,
right. Right.
And my sister, she's like, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you didn't want to say that on the live feed. I can delete the live feed, sure, but you've already put out there.
Yeah, it's too late. It's already out.
Yeah. That's just my sister. And it does, we do, we're just going to be ourselves out there. Mm-hmm. We don't go try to act like we're who we're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
We can be loud at times. I try to be quiet during investigations because but we can also be loud because sometimes we're bickering.
Yeah.
But also the energy, Randy, can affect you.
Yeah.
And the energy affects me a lot when I'm out there with my sisters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
It's bad. Sometimes I have to walk away because I'm going to snap.
Gotta go out and get some air or something, right? Or something.
Yeah.
But I find you're just a lot of fun. I just send you messages during the day, like, wonder what Mandy's up to. I just send her. It's fun talking to you. We have a good time. It's pretty cool. I'm glad that we kind of became friends there. I enjoy that. Hopefully that'll last for a long time. But I know we'll work together and stuff. Yeah, it will work together and stuff. And yeah, it will. Yeah, it's just you and I both have a lot of energy. That's what.
Both of us, them spirits will just drain. I don't drain me, but it's not like it ain't to the point where I can't drive home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never been to that point, but yeah.
Really, yeah. So you've never gone that. That's good though. I mean, that hasn't affected you that bad. Has it drained you though pretty bad? You said has your energy been drained?
I was actually drained really bad from Saturday night's.
Yeah, you look tired.
Which carried over into Sunday night's investigation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you guys y'all seem pretty tired after that.
But I get excited when I know, like, oh, it's showtime. It's time to do our thing. So, and I'm still reviewing those cameras too. So
that's fine. Yeah. But it was, that was a good time. I'm glad we did that. Like I said, we got some answers and if anything else goes crazy around here, I'll let you know, I need to get you back in here or something.
Yeah. I'd like to get in there with my sisters.
Oh yeah.
All women. And I like to see,
how would we, yeah.
The women and see, you never know. Things could pop off or it could be quiet. When you go on an investigation, it's kind of like fishing. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get a bite, you don't know if you're going to catch something. And you have to have patience. My sister Chastity has no patience.
She's got no patience.
When she throws in the bait, if they don't bite, like within 5 minutes, she's ready to move to another location.
You ever had like no action? You ever had like no action, like go somewhere and just like nothing?
We have, yeah. Well, no, not the whole night.
Yeah.
But in certain areas, there would be nothing. It's like, okay, we ain't getting nothing in here, and I'm not feeling anything either. But yeah, most of the time when we go to these locations, even doing residential cases, we always manage to get something, always. And I just think, if you think about it, a stranger walking into someone's house when you're doing a residential case, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to say? You're going to want to know, you're going to want to communicate with these strangers, like, who's this? What are they doing here? What do you want? That's how I would look at it if I was a spirit still here and people are coming over. I want to know, what are you doing? What are you up to? And yeah, I'd be, don't let me be a spirit up in here because I'm going to go bug everybody.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
Everyone. That's what I say if I'm still here, but that would be my intentions, especially the ones who are skeptic.
Yeah.
They're going to be the first ones to get it.
I'm telling you, if you're a skeptic, go on these investigations. It'll open your eyes to stuff. Even if you doubt, you should go. That's all I can say. But I was telling you, we were talking on Saturday night. I think the reason why back to the house, back to our station, a lot of reasons why there was action, a lot of things going on in the basement and the top floor is there's weeks when nobody even goes down there. They had the place to themselves basically down there and upstairs. Nobody goes upstairs either. We just use the 2 floors because we use it for storage, the basement and the top. But yeah, I think they're allowed to roam and do whatever they want for whatever they want. We don't get in the way.
And you guys leave the radios on all night long.
Time. Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm.
So they don't get peace and quiet.
No.
And then when you turned off the radios when we were investigating, so that was even, they were kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Turn on the music.
Yeah, they want to hear their music. Yeah.
And then we start communication with them. And there was definitely some intelligent spirits because, in order for them they have to learn how to use the equipment. Especially when you go to a new location that's never been investigated, they don't know what, depending on the time frame they're from, they're looking at this ink box like, what is this?
Oh yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
You want me to what? And then our ball, they're like, what? So you kind of got to train them on what to do. So I did not get any responses with the REM pod. But Kayla had her yes or no device, which is kind of like a REM pod, and she was getting hits with that. But they didn't
right away too. Yeah,
I don't think they messed with the REM pod, not that I can remember. But they did pretty good for the most part because they figured out the ink box, used words, manipulated that, and they were lighting up the cat ball. So.
Yeah, quite a bit. The yes or no, I mean, that was the first thing we did. I mean, it was going off immediately when we first started. Yeah, we were asking questions, getting a lot of intelligent answers off the yes and no.
And I don't know what all devices the other people were using because we all have a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
It's just different equipment being used everywhere. So I think everybody was getting hits at some point in different locations. Like Eric and Sean, when they were upstairs in the attic, I think they were getting different things up there. I think they were coming across something more negative.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They thought it maybe came from the night before, their investigation, but from the night before.
And I think something did follow those guys because Sean has had nothing but a streak of weird things that I would consider bad luck that has happened to him since he's been at that castle.
Really?
I mean, bad luck at the hotel he stayed at. Then what was it? Oh, and the next night when we went to Michigan at the restaurant, he got food poisoning. And then his hotel, they were woke up at like 8 a.m. to the next room was being worked on. There was loud equipment making loud noises. All these things to me line up as to something's going on here. You don't just have so much bad things happening like that. That's like 3 or 4 things within the whole weekend. And I told him, I'm like, dude, something's going on here.
Eric said that night after they were in New York, that night before they came to Bucyrus, it was a rough night for him. It was just not right. Something was attached on him.
He said I think he didn't go to sleep till 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So
so he was talking about, but he thinks that might have been hooked on with him and came on over to Bucyrus with him. But
oh boy.
Hopefully he didn't leave it behind. I don't think so. I've got, it seems pretty quiet in there right now. So yeah.
Well, they lay low for a while, so you never know.
Well, thanks. Yeah. Probably, who knows? But I'd say we have weird days in there. There'll be times when you just feel the energy in the house. It's just weird. There's times when you feel nothing and it's calm and really nice. And there's some days when it's almost like electricity in the air. It's really unique.
That is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just every once in a while you'll have those days. I don't know why, but it'll happen.
So, Randy, I know that you were mentioning you wanted to have us girls on a podcast with you at the radio station.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead? Do you know when about you wanted to do this?
Yeah, anytime. The only day that I'm usually booked up are Tuesdays because that's when I do my normal podcast. But anytime you want to come in the next, whenever, right? There's Wednesdays are a good day. Thursdays are fine. Fridays, but whatever's a good time
Do
for
you
you.
do you do it on the weekends too, or just during the week?
I can if it's easier for you to do one on the weekends, we can do that. So,
I'll have to see because my sister Baba Joe works every other weekend. She
okay,
does 12-hour shifts.
yeah,
So she had last weekend off, so she'll be working this weekend. But we are going to be traveling to Tennessee
okay,
on Tuesday. So
cool.
yeah,
You guys doing
we
an
got.
investigation down there? Or?
We're going to be doing some stuff, all right. We will be
Mhm,
investigating, but we're not going to be live when we're investigating
mhm.
at the Year. We're going to be at the Year Shrine.
Oh wow,
I
okay.
will go live and give a tour because we have a lot of new followers. I'll give a
Mm-hmm.
tour of the location, but during this investigation, we can't go live because we got a lot of filming and stuff to do,
Yeah.
recording and stuff.
Wow. So we'll be able to see that later on then, right? You're going to film it all, you said, or
Well, sort of.
sort of? Okay.
Hey, I
Gotcha.
can't.
I gotcha.
But we can't be live during
Yeah,
what we're doing because we can't. We got to be focused on what we're doing.
I get it. Yeah.
So it's only
Interesting.
one
Yeah.
night there and then driving back from Tennessee.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying?
That's quite a trip. Yeah. Yeah. You could
It
do that
is.
quite often, these long trips, 1-day trips.
I have been known to do it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because you guys left from Bucyrus on Saturday or Sunday morning and drove all the way to Michigan.
Well, those guys had hotels in Bucyrus.
Yeah.
They got whatever little sleep they got, and they drove to Michigan. I drove back here because I'm only 25 minutes from Bucyrus.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
So I
right. Yeah.
can.
But that's quite a trip to Michigan, wasn't it? That was what, 5
No,
hours? 4 hours?
no,
No, right, not really.
it wasn't that far in Michigan. It was only 2.5 hours.
Oh, really?
No,
That's not bad. Yeah.
we drove back too.
Oh, did you? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, after the investigation.
Wow.
We sure did.
You drove back that late at night, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're known to pull over to the side pull into a rest area and take a nap.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
If we don't want to get a hotel, we're
Mhm.
like, we'll drive an hour or two, pull into a rest stop and get some sleep, couple
Mhm.
hours, back on the road.
There you go. There you go.
Why spend cash, 80, 90, $100 for what you're going to, by the time you're done investigating, you're going to get what, 5 hours of sleep?
Yeah,
So you
probably.
spend a lot of money for 5 hours and you can drive, pull over, get you a little nap, back on the road.
Yeah, there you go. See, why not? You guys are probably so like energized up. I mean, it's hard to go to sleep, isn't it? Anyways, afterwards.
No,
Or you guys are that just wore down?
we're usually like, I mean, they're usually tired. I'm just depends.
Mhm.
Depends on how much I was getting with Spirit.
Yeah, right.
So, but anyway, Randy,
Yes.
thank you for
Thank you.
joining me on this live. I wanted you to go on and tell everybody,
Sure.
your experience and how much fun you had with us. And
Yeah.
yeah.
When we
So,
do the Brownella thing, well, you'll have to have me back on and we'll talk about that. How's that sound?
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
you.
As soon as you find out, let me know, and I'll
will.
send out messages to everyone else and see if those time frames work for them too.
Yeah.
And
We're excited to have you. We really are. It's first thing I was questioned with, Randy, what are you gonna get him over there? I said, okay, I'm working on it. But
it's funny because Sean hasn't been to the Brunella Village. And I'm like,
he'll love it. He'll love it.
you got to go to this place. I've been there years ago, and I was like, it's good. So he never even heard of it. So
really, wow, okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those places that people like to go back to then too. They like going back. I mean, once you experience it, they come back, to see what else, because you always experience something different. So yeah, it's a neat place.
And I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get all kinds of, who knows.
You are. I guarantee it. You guys are going to have, it'll be interesting. Let's put it that way. I'm interested to see what you guys find.
I am too. So I'm excited.
Well, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Also, guys, tune in tomorrow. is it tomorrow I'm going to do this? No, Saturday I'm going
Mhm.
to do another live here on Ghost Sisters,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna have a few people on the live with me, and we're going to be talking about the events that took place at the Louise Asylum. So
Awesome.
I'll be discussing that, which means I have to review cameras fast.
You got homework to do, right?
I'm already on it, but I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
completely done.
Right. Well, yeah. So yeah, and I'll tune into that. It's tomorrow night, you said?
Saturday
Saturday
would be
night.
the
Okay.
second.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
All right, Randy.
Mandy,
So
thank you so much. Yeah.
until next time, Randy.
We'll do this again. Yeah. Like I said, we've struck up pretty good friendship, so I'm sure there's many more things to come. So we'll figure out some stuff. But yeah, it's good. It's fun time. I'm glad that you got in contact with me, and I'm glad we could
Do
make this all
you
work.
want to promote anything you want to promote, Randy? Like your radio station where people
Oh
can listen
yeah.
to you?
Well, you can. I'm the news director for Crawford County Now and WBCO, WQEL. You can hear me in the mornings on there. I do the news on there. Plus, I run that website, Crawford County Now, and of course, I have my podcasts on there too now that you can listen to and watch. We do video and sound. You guys will be on there eventually. Um, yeah, so you'll see me around. I usually go to a lot of events with the radio station. I'm usually pretty busy with the radio station. You'll see me all over, whether it be Cyrus, sometimes Marion, sometimes Mansfield. We're all over the place. So yeah. And Saturday night, if anybody wants to hear some great music, Old 30 has their Q Fest going on, which is all tribute bands all day long. And the headlining band is a Seether tribute. And check this out. I know you'll like this, a Rob Zombie tribute. Thunderkiss 65 will be there. So yeah, those are the big headliners on Saturday night at Old 30.
You know, calls my husband and I to take. As a matter of fact, tonight my
Uh-huh.
husband went to the Old 30.
Did he really? Did he like it?
Yes, with some
Good, good.
coworkers. Yeah, he
Good,
loved
good,
it. I said,
good.
I said, because I wasn't with him. I said, we're going to go back to this place. So maybe we'll check that out. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the Rob's not. Now I saw the promo video for that. In fact, I did a promo video for Old 30, which would be out for the whole event, which would be out on Saturday morning. You would see it. But all these tribute bands, it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, Thunderkiss 65, and they look pretty legit, man. if you're a Rob Zombie fan, I know you are.
I love Rob Zombie. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I was listening to Rob Zombie today.
I'll be darned.
That's my stuff,
Gonna
man.
have to do this for sure. So
All right.
All right,
well, thank
guys.
you, Mandy.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for being here, and I am ghosting out until the next time.
All right. Catch you later.